Hi, my name is Dee Dee, and I have been trying to help repeal the bathroom and locker room law that we have in place since 2016 here in the state of Massachusetts. And there has been an unintended consequence to this law that you might have heard about in the news. Long story short, a transgender woman wanted to get a Brazilian wax at a spa here in Massachusetts, and they were not comfortable waxing male genitals. And when I've read about this, none of the really important details of the lawsuit have come forward because they're uncomfortable. And I'm actually going to read today from the civil rights law, the civil rights complaint form that was filed. I want you to know that it is uncomfortable for me to read. You might feel uncomfortable as I read it, and if there's someone in the room that you think might not want to hear this, you might want to pause right now and come back to this. And if I appear nervous, it's because I am. This is not easy to discuss. So on page 1 of 7, it starts out, at some point in the initial part of the conversation, I identified myself as a transgender woman. She asked me what exactly I was getting waxed, and I told her everything from my eyebrows down, including some hairs on my knuckles and toes. I also said I get a full Brazilian too, my butt cheeks, between my butt, and my privates. It also goes on to state some of the drugs or hormones that they're on, which out of privacy, we certainly don't need to know that. But it continues. I told her my body has started to change considerably. My skin is softer, hormonal hairs do not grow back as fast, and the hairs themselves have become softer and fine. My breasts are just starting to develop, and my hips and butt are changing too. On page 2 of 7, this is where it gets a little bit more uncomfortable, so again, pause it if you need to. I also told her that the hormones will not even let me become erect, even if some deliberately try to make me erect. I told her that part of getting approval for hormones where I go is that I had to sign several consent forms and have several evaluations by psychologists to make sure I fully understand what the hormones would do to my body and that I was competent to make that decision. They also told me my genitals may shrink, and if I wanted an erection, they would give me Viagra so I could penetrate a partner. I said no thank you to Viagra because as a woman, I want to be penetrated, do not penetration. I did not believe I disclosed that to her, but I did disclose I would require Viagra to get an erection, and my genitals do appear to be shrinking, so she would not have to worry about an accidental or involuntary erection on my part. I have emphatically added that I am a very good customer and always very respectful of whoever is working on me. I have no reason to doubt that. I certainly don't want to question the character of the person who filed this lawsuit, but I do want to point out that on page 6 of 7, what she was looking for compensation was 3 credits for their full leg, including Brazilian waxing, which they offer for $100 for 3 visits. I am willing to pay for the other parts they were willing to do. I only want treble credit, for which I am denied. And what that clearly says is that this person is using the law to force another woman to touch their male genitals, and that woman is not comfortable doing so. It's also important to note that on page 3, the person who is filing the lawsuit says, I have gotten waxed in high-volume spas in Braintree. The owner of spa that I go to has a transgender sibling and has no problem, but she uses inferior waxes. So I asked a few women if they would come out and talk about this issue and let it be known what their discomfort is when facing this kind of lawsuit. And nobody wanted to go on camera, so I'm here talking for them. They are fearing that they're going to get a lawsuit. They are fearful to speak up, and they are being silenced into compliance. They're not able to say, I'm not comfortable doing this. There are waxers who are comfortable. I think that's awesome. And, I'm not without compassion to the person who filed this lawsuit. I'm sure life is very difficult for them, but I don't think the answer is to create difficulty for somebody else. I'm hoping that You're not going to be mad at the messenger. I am the messenger. These aren't my words. I'm speaking up for women because they can't speak up. And I would like you to help send the message to our legislators that this law does not work. We need to bring people who are transgender back to the table. We need to allow spa owners back to the table. We need to allow mothers and fathers back to the table to be able to really see what we can do to rewrite this law so that everybody is included and nobody is silenced. So please, I ask for you to vote no on November 6th, no on question 3. Let's send the message that we can do better. We can remember everybody has rights. No woman should be silenced, and no woman should lose her job because she does not want to wax male genitals. Thank you.